Welcome to today's discussion. I'm joined by Jo Stewart-Rattray, Director of Information Security and IT Assurance at BRM Holditch. Welcome to the program, Jo.
Thank you, Jason.
Talk to me about why it is so important for enterprises to invest in a robust cyber program.
I think I can probably say it in one short sentence. The bad guys never take a holiday. So, you know, this is getting to be a big problem globally, and it's not going to ease up. It's not getting any better. So, you know, in order to protect themselves, organisations have to do whatever they can in the context of their business, and also, you know, along the terms of making sure that you invest properly in security measures. And by that I mean, don't spend $100 if you're only going to protect $5 worth of data. That's just not viable. So you actually have to look at the criticality and the sensitivity of the information that you're dealing with as well. But as I say, you know, the bad guys don't take a holiday, so you have to always make sure that you're on guard.
So this is a 24/7, 365 approach around the clock, right?
Correct.
And the bad guys only have to be right one time, and the good guys have to be right every time. Tell me about that.
That's really putting it well. It's difficult, you know, to keep on point all of the time. But it's about having the technology and the awareness of people in the organisation as well. It's not just about the technology, although that has a lot to do with it. You know, it's about protecting the data itself. And there are two ways that data leaves an organisation. One is via the firewall, and the other one is by the human beings walking out the door. So, you know, it's about also an awareness raising internally with organisations to ensure that the people who are accessing the information actually understand how they should be looking after it and how they should be protecting it as well. So if you are walking out the door with information, you need to make sure that your staff are aware of how to use that or not use that information in a public domain.
It's interesting, you've mentioned people a couple of times, and that is a big part of this discussion. We've come a long way in terms of the technology piece, right?
Yeah.
But the people part of the equation is equally as important, and we're underrepresented in terms of the number of skilled people who work on these issues, right?
Definitely.
So how do we get more people, younger people, millennials, and maybe those who want to make a career change involved?
Very good point. It is an issue. Currently we have around 900,000 jobs unfilled in the cyber world. We also have, they say that by 2017 that will increase to a number around 2 million. Now that's a lot of people to fill a lot of jobs globally.
Staggering.
It is staggering, isn't it? So it is about winning the hearts and minds of, particularly when you talk about young people, I think it's about capturing the hearts and minds of these young people before they get to choose their college or university courses. You actually want to capture the hearts and minds of kids at elementary school. And that's quite an ask, really. But then so that's taking care of the kids' stuff, because we're seeing this decline globally in entry into STEM courses at university and therefore graduation. So the pipeline for these individuals is beginning to dry up as well, which we really don't want to happen. So one of the things, if you are in your career now and you want to get involved in cybersecurity, because, you know, we know that adults will make a career change perhaps 4 times in their lives, in their working lives. So that's quite a lot. So we're seeing a lot of people with ISACA who are looking to get into the cyberspace or to validate what they're already doing. And they might be mid-career professionals. So the organisation offers a number of credentials in that space, and conferences and education. So it's kind of a one-stop shop for the professionals. So it's a great place to start. It's a great place to network with your peers as well. Also, it's a way of young people getting their first credential in the space.
How do you get someone involved, perhaps a mid-career person who has a lot to offer from a skills perspective, just being in the workforce? How do you get them interested in going down the cybersecurity path if they're looking to make a change?
Well, you know, there has to be a will. There's no point pushing somebody, you know, the round peg into a square hole. That's never going to work. You know, you have to make sure that the person really has the genuine interest in it. Oftentimes you'll find it's people who have a very good, solid background in either IT or more general information security. So it's about again, raising their awareness of what's available to them through a professional body, through their professional organisation.
Another area of underrepresentation is with women.
Correct.
Now, how is the conference where we're at today, the Cybersecurity Nexus conference, how is that helping to increase knowledge and get some excitement around cybersecurity for that underrepresented crowd?
I'm absolutely excited to be involved with this conference. It's the inaugural CSX conference, but it's also the first time that we have Women in Cyber stream. So there are some specific targeted sessions for women in cyber. So I'm lucky enough to be the board sponsor of the Women in Technology Advisory Council for ISACA, and so I'm going to be really banging that drum later today to make sure that we get more women, because, you know, it's been one of those things, Jason, in my career that when I started out, you know, I remember about probably 15 years ago being at a conference in Melbourne, Australia, and finding that I was one of just 3 women out of about 300 delegates. It was fairly a poor showing, as you can, and one of those women, I have to say, was a speaker. So we're actually seeing that change, but very slowly. And I would really like to encourage young women to step up to the plate, come and be involved in cyber, and join me in the boardroom.
We're going to pause here for a short break. I'd like to thank my guest, Jo Stewart-Rattray, Director of Information Security and IT Assurance at BRM Holditch, on Building Tomorrow's Cybersecurity Workforce, sponsored by ISACA. I'm Jason Fornicola, and you're listening to federalnewsradio.com and 1500 AM.